Welcome to Sengoku, a 2D fantasy game set in 15th century Japan. In Sengoku, you play as the samurai, a tenacious young warrior on a desperate quest to save his kingdom. As you progress, you must master both combat and agility to surpass increasingly difficult levels. Your challenge might be hordes of enemies, a fire-wielding oni, a falling mountain, or even tea ceremony etiquette. Regardless, only mastery and focus will allow you to prevail. In creating this game, we have spent countless hours researching history, architecture, and art, designing environments, illustrating cutscenes, animating characters, brainstorming plot points, scripting character behaviors, building UI, designing sound, and doing everything else that goes into making a game. Please enjoy the following trailer. Hi, my name is John Kuntz, and I was a character animator on Sengoku. I also built the level outlines and did the sound design. The first character I animated was the player samurai. We had to design a full set of animations for him, including attacks, movements, and a death cycle. After the main samurai, we moved on to the various enemies, NPCs, and bosses that populate the world of Sengoku. Each of these has a different number of actions depending on their role. Diego and I sit down and we discuss what behaviors, movements, and attacks we want them to have. Then I animate them, while Diego programs them. Level design is a very collaborative process. First, we decide what details we want to characterize that level. For example, it might be a dangerous mountain climb, a courtyard battle. Next, I draw the designs on paper and then bring them into Unity for preliminary layout and titling. Finally, Diego comes in and does a more detailed titling and adds various other details, like parallax effects on background elements and foreground elements, as well as particle effects. Next, I'll give the floor to Kaylee, who will talk a bit about environment art.
Hi, this is Kaylee. My role on Sengoku was as an artist. I primarily worked on the environments for the prologue level, the tea ceremony, which is based on the Japanese Roji garden, and the spirit forest level. For the spirit forest, we decided that it needed to feel surreal, and in order to achieve this, I kept the sky and the distant trees a very bluish green, while keeping the closest trees very tall, closing in the sky so that the player felt as if they were in a dense forest. The kitsune, which is the bright blue fox spirit, was also used in this way. It's there to not only guide the player, but to show the player that the forest is in fact full of spirits. John and Ellen also created some fun yokai that disappear as the player approaches.
I'm Ellen, one of the artists on the Sengoku team. I created the horse animation and the art for the Falling Rocks level and dragon environment. I also illustrated and animated the cutscenes, which were sound designed by John. It was really fun getting to experiment with pixel art more in depth for this project, but my favorite part is creating the cutscenes. My biggest inspiration for the art style of these cutscenes were the woodblock prints from the ukiyo-e art movement, which took place immediately following the Sengoku period.
Hi, this is Diego Avina. For this project, my primary role was programmer, but I also dived into a little art over the summer and did some level polishing. In this castle level, the castle tile set was one of the major tile sets I drew over the summer. One of the major challenges of this tile set was trying to make sure that all the different pieces can connect in various ways so we can create a lot of variety within our levels. In terms of level polishing, John did the level design and I just went back and reskinned things such as adding in fog, particle effects, and other things. In terms of programming, I programmed in new things like crumbling platforms, which come in two variants, a simultaneous and instantaneous variant. And then I also programmed new enemies, which were mostly programmed over the summer, like the Spear Samurai and Mobile Archer, and a new block ability capable of sending enemy projectiles back or even stunning enemies like the Heavy Samurai. A successful block also regens the ultimate ability bar so that when it is full, you can unleash a lethal bow and arrow attack on your enemies. In over 9 months of development, we have seen Sengoku grow from a vague idea to a reality. We started out with a single samurai running around an embarrassing test level, and now we have 3 fully detailed worlds, a castle siege, samurai duels, a tea ceremony, and a freaking dragon. We've learned a lot of things during this time. We've learned about scope, for example, we spent our last month polishing instead of adding more levels, and we learned about game making in general, such as spending more time developing story through dialogue, cutscenes, and environment. As this stretch of our project comes to a close, we are incredibly optimistic about the next step. We have plans for things like a ghost town, a giant fish, a massive war scene, a duel to the death with a shadow oni, and a dark shadow world. We think the best is yet to come. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy our game for what it is. We certainly enjoyed making it every step of the way.